Works Director, Capital Improvement Director for City of Sunny Isles Beach. The manager, Chris Russo, may join us. He's at another engagement. He may join us in a little bit. I want to introduce a few people. We have Orlando Rubio, who is with Craig A. Smith. He is the engineer of record, the designer. They design the plans, help do all the engineering work behind it, etc. They will be involved with the job from an inspection standpoint, finalizing it, and so forth, so that they ensure that the contractor builds, and we collectively ensure the contractor builds what's been bid, awarded, and planned for. We have Ivan Rodriguez. He's the superintendent with Florida Engineering. He will be running the project for Florida Engineering. We will have a city staff person. Her name is Elka Linton Dorset. She is not here. She's on maternity leave, but she will be back, assigned to the project once she comes back off of maternity leave. Again, I'm Bill Evans, Public Works Director. You can always get me. Deb Lima is my assistant, and I draw everybody's attention to the little handout that Deb's been handing out as you walk in. If you don't have one, raise your hand. She'll get one to you and get you to sign in. This is merely a depiction of what I'm going to present to you this morning. It's information about the project. It's a phasing breakout, or how we're going to build the project in zones or different grouping sections, etc. The most important thing is on the bottom of the page is my name and my phone number. If you have, so I ask you to hang on to this handout. If you have questions, concerns after today, as we move into the beginning of the project, and as the project rolls along, please call. Deb will probably pick up, and we can direct your question, concern to the appropriate person, whether it's contract related, city related, it may be for me, maybe for the police, etc. We will do our best to get back to you in the most timely fashion as we possibly can. Understand we have other activities going on, but we will get back to you, okay? And you probably will hear back from me personally. Anyway, that is an important number. On the back of the sheet is a pictorial of the phasing, or the zones that we're going to do this project in. With that being said, I'm going to wade right into it, and if you guys have questions, I would ask that hopefully you can hold them till the end. Something just can't wait, please just raise your hand, we'll stop and go from there. This is the 174th Street Roadway Improvement Project. The construction of Northeast 174th Street between Collins Avenue and North Bay Road. The improvements will include the installation of a new drainage system with a water quality treatment device. Let me explain that briefly. As you guys all are aware, especially on the north end of 174th Street, there is a tremendous flooding drainage problem. It doesn't drain out. We're going to put in a new 36-inch pipe. We're going to tie into a new outfall, we're going to upsize the existing outfall on North Bay Road on the south side from 24 inches to 36 inches to increase the capacity for it. This water quality treatment device is merely something that allows the pollutants, the solids, to settle out. We will then come in with a Vector truck, one of those big trucks you see, it looks like it's got a snorkel on it. We will clean it out. It maintains your water quality through a state and federal level to the levels that they want to see. It keeps our water bodies nice and clean around here, and it's easier for us to maintain. It captures the trash, so we have one central point to go to for certain areas to get that stuff out of there. It's a good thing. Water quality treatment device, reconstructed roadway, new sidewalks and gutters, lanes, temporary parking, striping, and new landscaping. West of North Bay Road, the northeast 174th Street will undergo milling and resurfacing with some curb and gutter replacement where needed. Now let's talk about on the other side of North Bay Road, where you guys are. We know that there's sidewalk cracked. We know that there's curb cracked. We know that the medians, some of the medians need replacement. We know that the landscaping needs to be done. But what we're saying is not the whole thing needs to be done. The road has to be done. Some spot sidewalk replacement has to be done, some spot curb and gutter has to be done, and some median work has to be done, along with the lighting and the landscaping. It is less intensive than the work that is going to be going on the east side of North Bay Road, merely for the fact is There is no storm drain work going on up here. All the storm drain work is going on down there. This is surface draining down to the other section of the road, which will take it all out on North Bay Road, the south side. In order to reasonably accommodate vehicular and pedestrian traffic and stay on schedule, and to be in concert with the overlapping pedestrian bridge, I'll stop right there. As everybody hopefully is aware, and we will be back talking to those buildings that are directly affected and potentially those that are indirectly affected. On the south side of North Bay Road, in June, we hope to be awarding the North Bay Road Bridge project. It's currently shown like this. That is not how it's going to go. It's going to go in a S direction and land between the Salem House and Porto Bellagio. That project, in all likelihood, will be under construction late August, early September, and we will accommodate for it with this project in how we're going to build it, and I'll explain that in a few minutes. The project will be divided into 5 phases. Each phase will involve the standard procedures for construction, site preparation, demolition, installation of traffic controls, and the actual installation of the improvements. Each phase will receive a first lift of asphalt prior to proceeding to the next phase. Meaning that when you see a typical paving project, they have either 2 or 3 courses of asphalt. The first course of asphalt is the structural course. That will be down before we ever move to the next one, in order to cut down on the dirt, the dust, and et cetera, those things. Plus, it's easier for contractor to maintain. It's better for you guys to travel through it. You don't want to be traveling through gravel and those kind of things. So we will pave it, not finish paving, but pave it before we move to the next phase. And then when we come back for the final phase, that'll be included in the final paving. The project will tentatively begin after July 4th holiday. A full-time inspector and the project engineer from Craig A. Smith and Associates will be assigned to the project to work with city staff and the contractor. Contractor progress will be monitored daily, and the project schedule will be updated as needed. I'm going to need one of you guys to come hold the board, please. Let's go with this one. Let's walk through the phases, or the sections, how we're going to build this. First phase, for us to build, in order to get out of the way of this bridge that's potentially going to start late August, early September, this green section is phase 1, North Bay Road, heading in an easterly direction, approximately 900 feet down 174th Street easterly direction. This will be phase 1. Phase 2 will be, once we're done with this, with the final paving, our first lift of paving, we'll go to section 2. And I'll explain how we're going to control the traffic and how we're going to detour around it in just a second. Phase 2 will be at the end of this first phase, all the way down to Collins. Phase 3 will be back up at North Bay Road, down 900 feet in here. This is probably getting us somewhere into the November time frame. We can talk about that further in a minute. And this is phase 4. Phase 5 is the overall. This is phase 5. This is final paving and the work that has to occur down here. This can be handled through a spot traffic control, meaning that I don't have to do full tours around the road to handle that. A couple things I want to draw your attention to is currently out there on the street, you have, where is that over here? You have anywhere from a foot to 18 inches of grass strip between the sidewalk and the back of the curb. What we're proposing and what we're going to do in order to maximize the right-of-way is to eliminate that strip for the sidewalk all the way to the back of the curb, increasing the width of your sidewalk from literally 4 feet to 5.5 feet. And I say 5.5 feet because if you include the top of this curbing here at 6 inches, that gives you a 5.5 foot walkway. The utility strip or the maintenance strip will no longer be needed to maintain. It will not die and those kind of things, and you'll have a much wider walkway to walk into access for accessibility up and down 174. Now let's talk about traffic control. Phase 1. First phase, we are going to close North Bay Road, south side, on the eastern side, all the way down to the water. we're going to close eastbound 174th, 900 feet down, detour all traffic around it into the southbound lanes. So there'll be a 1 lane of traffic heading eastbound, and 1 lane of traffic heading westbound to get around this work zone. Everybody understand that?
No.
Okay. How can I help you understand? So what we're going to do is, when you're coming down to the intersection, you will be directed over into the north side of 174th. The eastbound lane will be the far right-hand lane, and the westbound lane will be the far right-hand lane, or left-hand lane. And that provides for access both ways on 174th and allows us to create a work zone where we can get the improvements put in. This is our first order of business because we need to get out of the way of the bridge that's coming.
Where is the 200 building there?
200 buildings back here. Yeah. We're talking, right now, we're talking everything east of North Bay Road. You're back here. Okay? Phase 2. Moving in an easterly direction. We have now finished our improvements in here. We have 1 course of asphalt, which makes it easier to ride on. We're continuing to kick cars over on the north side, and we'll finish down to Collins Avenue. When you want to turn in here, you'll turn into a single lane of traffic heading eastbound on 174. This will be clearly marked with all the road signs. Our police will be out in force, etc. Phase 2. Orlando, what's the timeline on that?
Phase 1.
Tentative timeline, phase 2. I just want to tell them when we'll be.
Phase 2 will start between mid-September and about early November.
Okay, so this is November-ish time frame here. Phase 3, we move back up to North Bay Road. Now we're swinging all the traffic over here on these newly created improvements, and we're going to have east and westbound on the south side of 174. We will do 900 feet down here and complete this. Same situation for the final phase down here in the eastern section. Phase 5, we don't have the board for, but phase 5, again, I want to reiterate to everybody, is when I'm coming back here. When I come back here, we'll do the sidewalk work. We will do, and we're going to handle this by a localized traffic control. I don't have to detour things. I can work it from the median. The problem is down here, I have to put all this deep storm drainage in. That's why I'm having to shut the road down in sections. I'm not putting storm drainage in here. All the water sheet flows back this way into our control structure, and will go out this way, back here. Okay?
Where is the water going? Into the reversal?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It'll go into a control structure, that pollution device, and then it will go out the outfall that we're upsizing from 24-inch to 36-inch at a head wall on the south side of North Bay Road.
How are you going to control the traffic light on this corner?
In this area
There's
here,
going to be a traffic light?
no, there will be no traffic light. It'll be a four-way stop as it is right now.
Will it get worse before it gets better? Worse time?
Traffic?
Yeah.
I can't predict that. I don't envision it getting any worse than it is right now. During the construction, I'll be the first to tell you, there's going to be situations we're going to have to work through, and that's why we're here today, is to get you up to speed as much as I can, to give you a contact number, because people I know feel helpless at times. Who do I call? This is not right. I don't like the way this looks, or this is not a safe situation. Who can I call? That's the number you call. You call. I will hear you, and we'll do something about it, okay? Or I'll give you an explanation why it is. Maybe you don't understand why it is, but I want to make sure that everybody has an outlet for that, and that every concern, question will be answered in an expeditious manner.
Will there be parking on the street?
Let's talk about parking.
What for we need to do this?
Hang on one second. She asked about parking. I'll come right back to you. Parking right now, we understand there's a lot of 40-year recertification work going on in the area. What we're going to do is we're going to relax some of the on-street parking requirements that we have. If you have a resident decal, you'll be able to park wherever you want, down by Gwen Margolis Park, wherever you can find a spot. The displacement of cars is going to be great. We can't do much about it other than relaxing the restrictions on parking, on on-street parking in other areas. The contractor is looking at maybe providing a couple areas that could provide some off-street parking, Marion Towers, areas like that. But when we're working in front of your building, and when we're detouring traffic on the other side of the road, obviously we have to stop the on-street parking in those areas. So we'll do the best we can to work with you. If we designate an area in front of your building or somewhere for it, we will designate it, first priority will be to residents. This is during construction, so that on the weekends, the beachgoers and so forth don't use up any spots that you potentially need for that. That's going to be an ongoing effort. We're going to have to work with you on those kind of things.
Do you already have the money, or will you have an assessment?
No, this city's paying 100% for this. There is no assessment for this.
So no taxes gonna go up?
No, man, your taxes actually are coming down a little bit this year. So,
How much was this project?
what was the total bid on it? Right at $3 million.
You want for our money what we pay, create problem for us, make it less. I lived 21 years in this area, in this building, okay? This paradise. Now you want make it, our life is miserable.
Well, for a
For
short,
what?
As
Because
miserable
people
as possible.
need-
we have no desires to make your life miserable. What we're here to do is try to solve some drainage issues that you have throughout the corridor to provide a better, safer accessibility path up and down
Nothing better
174.
for us. and for
Excuse me
you.
one second. To provide greater lighting for safety issues along the 174th corridor, which we've heard numerous times about. So we're here to address those concerns. This has been a project on the books for many, many years. It's now come to fruition. Here we are, we're trying to be good partners to work with you so that the project moves along as flawlessly as possible.
And there's nothing help for traffic in A1A. Believe me, nothing help. This is heavy traffic and many more problems from 174th Street go east or west or south or north. Because everybody tried to use this bridge. Everybody tried to use this bridge. We found that ID, I don't know, sick, old, young.
Well,
And use this
we
bridge.
have other projects, you know, we're trying to figure out ways to lessen the traffic impact on 174, or on Collins Avenue. You know, we understand, the area is impacted. We're doing the best we can from a city perspective to try to address each and everybody's concern. But we can only do so much with the land and the right-of-way that we have. Yes, sir?
How does this affect the entrance and the exits of the automobiles?
That's a great question. We understand that everybody needs to get in and out of their building, and we will not stop you from doing that. What we will do, though, is that when we're digging right in the front area of your building, we need to lay that pipe in that area. You'll be interrupted for a matter of minutes for that. If there's an emergency, there'll be steel plates laid down. The contractor provides those to get you in and out. In the daytime, when we're not there, if the hole is open, we'll have it barricaded off, we'll have steel plates in, and you can go in and out as you please anyway. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, probably something. How I remember we will have a new construction, new bridge here from the July 1st, correct? No?
No, ma'am. Well, we're going to award it in June, this month. And we hope to have, if all goes well, we hope to start construction on the bridge in late August, early September.
Okay, perfect. And how will be that traffic? Everything contractor will work from that side, yes? From south side, I believe.
He's going to work from both sides and in the
From
water.
both sides.
And in the water.
Uh-huh. How they will relate with each other if you will have a two construction here?
That is what I was talking to you about earlier, is our first
Probably
phase.
I need something. Thank you. Let's start.
Yeah, your first phase of work, or our first phase of work, is to build our improvements in here and get out of his way, so he can get in here and utilize this area.
Okay.
Okay?
Can you show the way where is the, will go to the bridge?
This is North Bay Road. This is North Bay Road. This is actually showing in a straight direction. It actually comes in, it comes in an S direction like this, so it'll come off and tie in between the two buildings.
And you say bridge, it will be just walking bridge?
It'll be,
Yes.
let me clearly define the bridge for you. It is for pedestrians and bicyclists. In the event of an emergency, that the island has to be evacuated, the barricades will have to come down, the police will have to be stationed, and we would use it as an evacuation route. Only time in an emergency, okay?
Yes, I just want to remind you, it's assisted living facility, a lot of elderly people
Yes,
who
ma'am.
working and listen and the hearing problem and watching, vision problems. And it's school, it's park for kids, it's sport complex, it's a lot of traffic of young people and old people.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm telling you, right now, I see a lot of young people because we have a lot of people moved to Winston Towers. And young people, maybe we have to enhance police assistance here because young people are not driving 20 miles an hour. They're driving with huge speed, It's, we have to do something. Because especially in this project, it will be a huge problem with
In the
traffic.
project, there will be police assigned to help with traffic control.
And evening time also should be.
There will also be, we're going to meet with the school. We will have, as needed, police assigned to get the kids on and off the bus to the buildings they need to and to be able to access their buildings safely throughout the life of the project. Now, the kids are going to get out of school, I think it's Thursday. Tomorrow is their last day. So we won't see them, but we're going to meet with the administrators. So when they come back in August, we're going to be under construction. And we want to make sure that there's a smooth transition with the buses and all the children on it. Contractor is very aware of that. Our police are very aware of that. We as a city are as well. Okay?
Okay.
Additional questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, just a second, I'm sorry. We have a new hotel here, construction, yes, new condo, yes, and new school. And everything will be during 2 blocks of Collins Avenue on west side, okay? It is everything related to exactly our Winston Towers traffic. How you will handle this?
How are we going to handle the traffic?
Yes, exactly.
During the construction?
If somebody count this traffic or not, city said not yet, okay?
Right now, the city is undertaking a citywide, full comprehensive traffic study to take into account everything that's going on in Collins, internal streets, etc. How best to handle our traffic situation, I can't tell you today. That recommendation hasn't been made. But what I can tell you is we hear it, the commission hears it, staff hears it. We're doing the best we can to come up with new ideas. We only have so much land, so much right-of-way to build improvements. In order for us to put the best foot forward, we want to hear the experts give us some recommendations on how to do that, how to implement some traffic calming measures that potentially will ease the citizens to move, how they move around and the visitors to move around this town. We're doing the best we can. I don't have that answer for you today. What I can tell you is that through the life of the project, we're going to maintain traffic the best, most safest possible way we possibly can. When we're done with the project, you'll have a much more highly visible street from a light perspective at night. You will have brand new landscaping. You will have new irrigation. You will have new curb and gutter. You will have new sidewalks, and you have a brand new paved road that's striped to make it clearly visible where you can go and where you're supposed to drive.
I agree, it is perfect. We need this, your project, this project particular. We need it. It will be perfect. We will appreciate. I only don't understand pardon my English, okay? I don't understand people who plan all the same time. Only this concern, okay? 3 projects on the Collins, 2 blocks, okay? Plus project here and plus bridge. Not too much. What I'm talking only, okay?
Well, I understand. I think what you're saying is why are we building all this in such a short duration?
Yes, exactly.
I think the bridge and this project will lend itself nicely to easing some of the pedestrian concerns about getting to Collins Avenue. What's proposed with the bridge is any bike traffic that hopefully was going to Collins would now be
Going to our
to
area.
go over the bridge, to go over to North Bay Road in order to go south, would take some of that volume off of Collins Avenue.
Yeah.
These two projects kind of link together, because once we're done with it, the pedestrians will have a easier path to get to Town Center Park. They don't have to go all the way out to Collins. They walk over the bridge and go up 172nd, and you can go there. Or you can go to 163rd Street. You can access a whole lot of new areas. We're building a brand new park over at Gateway Park with, you know, a great lawn, a beautiful parking garage, restaurants, a performing arts stage, and all those kind of things. This will be a very easy access point to go over the bridge to get to that park. There'll be a pedestrian bridge over 163rd, which is planned with that project as a secondary project to get you over 163rd so you don't have to cross the traffic in an unsafe manner. So it all kind of ties together to move people, to move cars, and to try to ease some of the crowding we have in the Collins Avenue corridor. Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
The cost of this road reconstruction, who's gonna pay for the city or the resident has to pay more?
The city's paying for this, 100%.
You pay, I pay.
This is a city project.
City
That's
has
correct.
money. City pays.
How long will it take?
Everything
the whole
goes from our budget.
It's basically a 9-month project. We're planning on having this project done, if all goes well, if we don't get weather delays and we don't encounter some unknown structure out there, a condition that we don't have currently planned for, by the end of April, we hope to be done.
I trust.
Well, we're going to do our best, I promise you that.
Well, this is
Ma'am, I wouldn't put my name on anything that I didn't want to stand behind, so you can call me anytime, and we can talk on a daily basis if you'd like to.
excuse me, that's
Yes, sir.
already the decision is done, and besides what we want or not, it's not gonna be voting for this project.
The project is done, we're ready to start in mid-July.
So without our permission, did we need this or not? Nobody asked us.
Nobody here. Nobody asked us. Just,
But we are not counting.
These are city streets.
These are the city streets that we need to improve from a drainage perspective, from a rideability perspective, and from a safety perspective.
So the neighborhood is not counting.
The neighborhood always counts.
This dictatorship,
They do
right?
it for you.
This
No,
country,
sir.
no.
No, sir. It's
No?
not.
I don't know.
Yeah, silly question.
Couple weeks ago, it was on a meeting, it was voting, it was signed, it's stopped now.
yeah.
Anyway, the city forces to do it, to go through it.
And
Why? I
why
don't
in
know
this
why.
small area,
You
this
see, we
teeny,
got a-
teeny area?
Excuse me. We have a school here, you know, that's a pain in the neck, that school. The people go to public, you cannot park, you cannot drive, you cannot walk. Now
You cannot go to
this-
others.
Let the man speak, please. I can't hear both of you.
That's ridiculous, you want to get rid of us. That's.
I hear your concerns. What I can tell you is that what we're trying to do is provide for the city as a whole. Your drainage on this street, our drainage in the cities is impacted. It
They
needs to be
did already
improved.
drainage.
What's
They
that?
did already a couple years
No,
ago.
ma'am, they did not.
That's not.
You know I do.
This side doesn't work anyway.
They
I'm sorry to
it's
say
not
to
gonna
you,
help
we have a
you.
problem with drainage, yes? On the Northway Road, you know that, yes?
Yes, ma'am. That's another project.
It is another project.
It's a well project. Any other questions, project related that I can help with? Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so right now, the north of North Bay is not gonna be affected, right? From
The north of North Bay, or you mean?
From 174.
Yeah, no, sir. Once we get outside of the intersection, this area, there is no project.
Would be always from the 200 building able to use North Bay North.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
There is another thing, what the lady asked before, I don't think we got a clear answer for that. Is there some kind of a committee in place in Sunny Isles that decide how many construction projects start at the same time?
The politicians in our town, the mayor and your commission make decisions on what projects to award and not award. As staff, we do not. We give the information to them and they vote on it in a public forum. Those votes are broadcast on TV. public is welcome. You're notified in the paper and on the website. So I encourage you as citizens, if you feel strongly about an issue, to come speak your mind and to say your piece. As staff members, we don't go to them and say, we need to build this or that.
There's so many things going on now in the home.
I understand.
It looks like more is coming.
I encourage you to.
They would fail out somehow.
They promise they will survive.
Yes, sir.
It's great that you're improving the flood systems here on 174th Street and expanding sidewalks and so on. Is there anything going to be done in the other flood area on North Bay Street after going north?
You talk about near Gwen Margolis?
Yes.
Right. We did a drainage project that was finished in late 2009, early 2010. We understand that two things. We're maintaining the wells in a better format than we have in the past. The flooding is not as bad as it was on the west side of Margolis, but it still occurs. We have a drainage consultant right now looking at one, maybe potentially adding some additional wells to assist with that flooding. Two, maybe tying it into an existing drainage structure, piping system, and creating a better situation that way. We hear it, we're studying it, we will have a project come out in the very near future to address that as well. Yes, ma'am.
So our building has a problem to finish our project when you are doing this construction.
Your building, will it have a problem to finish your project? No, ma'am, it will not.
You will allow the cars come in with...
The cars will always be allowed to come into the facility and leave the facility.
Cement, they have to bring in the cement and brick.
We will still work with your contractor to get all the materials, everything on site that's needed to complete your project.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
May I ask, not related to your project?
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to know what kind of school we will build, new school. It is related to the school we have already, it is for the same student, or we will increase?
I can't answer that question. I don't know. I don't
You
know
don't
what's
know.
planned. No, ma'am, I do not.
But, okay, you cannot see it is on the side either, okay?
I cannot what?
I cannot see it is on the side. Mayor didn't say what kind of school we will have.
I don't know.
Okay.
To be honest.
But it will be your next project.
No, ma'am, it will probably not be mine.
Excuse me, I got a question. We got, 200 using entrance in the garage from North Bay Road. How, what we see about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, this traffic time, how we can go to the garage? I went from work.
Still be able to go to the garage. We're not going to stop you from going to the garage.
I know, nobody can stop me, not this traffic.
Sir, I'm not going to increase the traffic. I'm not going to decrease the traffic. I'm going to build a project and we're going to try to move the cars around as best we can to accommodate your needs and everybody's needs in this building and along the 174th corridor. I can assure you of that.
This is going to start when?
Mid-July.
Mid-July.
After the July 4th
The first
holiday.
phase should last how long?
The first phase, well, I got it on the,
From mid-July to mid-September.
there you go. Yeah, if you
But
refer to
through the
your,
summer.
Yes, ma'am.
if you refer to your,
When the kids go back to school in September,
yes, ma'am.
the first phase will be finished.
It'll be close to being finished. I don't want to say it's going to be completely finished, but yes. First phase is mid-July to mid-September. Second phase is mid-September to early November. Phase 3 is early November to early January. Phase 4 to include your area and, phase 4 is early January to late February, and phase 5 will be late February to early April to finish up.
When we can use the new bridge?
When can you use the new bridge? I have to build it first.
When?
It's going to be a year project as well. If we started in late August, early September, roughly a year from then, we should be getting close to finishing on that. Yes. And remember, it's only pedestrian for bicycles. It's not for cars. Yep.
When the bridge is gonna be finished, the traffic from now building to Collins Avenue, 174th Street is gonna exist. Or anyway, we have to go to the left.
I'm not affecting the traffic at all with the bridge. It's purely for pedestrians and bicyclists. It's not for cars. The bridge is being built only in an emergency situation, if we had to evacuate the island or we had
I
some.
understood that. But
Okay.
I'm talking about when I come out from our building, I come on 174th Street from my garage.
Right,
I make a left turn and I go straight
yeah,
to Calvin's. I'm gonna be able,
Yes.
after you finish,
Yes.
the same way.
absolutely.
I don't know whether we have any choice.
I'm sorry.
We have no
Make
choice,
it one more bridge, like some consistency.
but one day at a time.
Any other questions? Please hang on to the sheet. If you have questions in the future, we'll be glad to answer them. And thank you for your time today. We will work with you guys as best we possibly can. Please don't hesitate to call if you have some concerns. Okay. It's on the front, the bottom of the front. Okay, thank you all very much for your time.